morning, race fans. We're at BSMA round 2 of the Nationals. We're at Contralis this weekend. Just done out in qualification. The track probably hasn't been, one of my favourite tracks, probably hasn't been prepped quite, I don't know, should have probably been could have been ripped a bit more really, because they've watered on quite a hard track, so it's polishing in the corners quite a bit, so it's a bit slippy in the corners. Other than that, pretty good, very fast. I would probably prefer a bit more technical track and a couple of jumps or something. But looking forward to today's racing. If you watch my race diaries, you'll know that the last diary was at Hawkston Park for the Service Nationals, and I had a horrendous weekend, and I really beat myself up about it on the day and everything. And really, I do normally ride sand quite well, but I just didn't feel comfortable on the bike. The problem with me is I just come to the races, I don't go practicing really. I work long hours and I'm always making excuses. So anyway, that was 2 weeks ago, and I needed to sort myself out. No good just turning up at the races and moaning. After Hawkston Park, I weighed in at I think 13 stone 11. And so that week, I started on the Tuesday. I did a very strict controlled calorie diet. Lost about £4, £4 back on the weekend. I tend to have a bit of beer on the weekends. So the week after, I did what we call a hard fast. Now hard fasts, I've done them before. I've done about 3 now. And they do, I can drop a stone, stone and a half, but I didn't want to do too long on this one, especially I've never done it in a race season before. So we did Monday to Thursday lunchtime, and I felt I had to come off it then. And I've dropped, I think I'm down to 13 stone 1 now. So we've dropped nearly £10 over the 2 weeks. And I'll probably do a couple of lower days. I want to push down to 12 and a half. Just under 12 and a half stone is my goal weight. I'm off it this weekend, but we are going to be eating quite healthily. One of the problems, because I've switched to a heavily plant-based diet, I was more flexitarian last year. I'd eat meat rarely, but then I won't say I'm vegan. I'll try and follow a heavily plant-based diet much of the time. Well, we've just done race of 1 here at Contralis for round 2 of the BSMA. Track prep's not quite what it should be really this week. Ground's rock hard, and they're having to water on top. Obviously they've got to get the water down, because obviously we're just as bad riding in the dust, but the ground underneath probably could have done with a little bit of work. They watered the track, the race prior to ours and just before ours as well. Got a good start. Down into the first turn. There was only a few in front of me, and I was really pleased with that. Got to the second turn, and then 2 went down. Couldn't get round them, had to go into the loose stuff to try and get round, and that pushed me further back. Got to the third turn, there was another 2 riders down. I think it was Grant. Might as well have got a crap start, because I was pretty much towards the back by then. The opening lap before we hit the drop off, man, it was so wet up there, and the ground was just absolutely rock hard. Track conditions challenging, I think, is the diplomatic way to say it, but it's the same for everybody. Actually, I really did enjoy the race, to be fair, and I felt confident and I felt good, but Contralis is one of my best favourite tracks, but today, it's not really. We not long did our second moto today, and fair play to the BSMA. They've really turned the meeting around. I presume that they weren't too sure what the weather conditions were going to be this weekend, and again left the track pretty sealed. Obviously it turned out not to be the best option, and they had a bit of frantic work to do this morning. I think when we went out for our first motor, they put a lot of water down, and that made things a little bit tricky, to say the least. But I've got to admit, I've enjoyed both races, and the second block, what can we say, we've just had that second race, and got a crap start in the second motor, compared to the first good start I got in the first motor. When it all went all pear-shaped. To be fair, it's such a fast track here, couldn't really make any ground up at all. It was just flat out all the way, and I think 1 or 2 got past me, and I just weren't prepared to hang it out as much as they were. And in the over 45s, I think I was 9th But the good thing is, again, the 4 riders in front of me aren't registered championship riders, so I've scored some valuable championship points this weekend. I've had 2 fifths in championship standing points, so I'm really pleased with that. So I'll be interested to see. I think I was 7th coming in here in the championship this weekend. Them 2 fifths will hopefully move me up a little bit further. I'm not too sure who's missing this weekend or what's happened to somebody. The track now, the farmer has really ripped it deep, so nobody could be moaning about line choice tomorrow. And there's a lot of water gone down. It looks pretty mint, so I think everybody's going to be in for a fun day. We'll probably be moaning there's too many ruts and too bumpy tomorrow, but that's the way motocross is. You're never going to keep us all happy. As I said, I mean, tonight I'm just having a spinach vegetable stir fry. I've lost 10 pounds in weight and it's showing in my riding. I'm feeling the last couple of weeks, well, even last year, compared to when I was on the Honda, when my weight was down. On the Husky, I haven't been confident. I haven't felt comfortable. Feeling confident and comfortable now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's intermission time. Ladies and gentlemen, time for the show. Once again, thank you for coming to our theater tonight. Have an enjoyable evening.
Well, we've, as you know, and I probably already mentioned in this particular race diary, we've beaten ourselves up after Hawkston Park. Really, I should have been riding a lot better at Hawkston. Very disappointed with myself. When I was out in Spain, I was riding okay, and the reason that is because I'm riding regularly. And I'm not a gifted and talented rider. I'm one of these riders at workhorse. I have to be out on it all the time, so making a bit of a change. This is the first time I've ever fasted during a race season. I've done it in the winter time to get my weight down. We're on day 3 now, 72 hours without eating. Come here riding, and I'll tell you what, my energy levels are really, really good. I'm really surprised about that. We've probably got a national this weekend, which will probably be the race diary you're watching now at BSMA at Contralis. And what it is, I will probably have ended my fast on a Saturday morning or Friday night, so I'll have done 5 full days. How are you, Mr. Lee? You feeling good today? Yeah. No sandwich today?
No, I'm on the healthy eating regime. You can see I've slimmed down. So I'm all ready to try and make it happen today for a change. Yesterday was a bit of a disappointment, so excellent. Hopefully we'll do better.
And Scott's on his health herbal cigarettes. I've done race 3, our first race on Sunday. Loved it. The track prep is perfect. BSMA have done a brilliant job, and the landowner on point. I know they had a few issues yesterday. I think they were expecting more rain, so they left it quite hard packed. But today it's been ripped, watered. It's really good fun. The ground is perfect for drive. It seemed to hold us on the line a little while. The bike gets a bit hot, your nerves get a little bit more. But I got out of the gate okay. That seems to be, I seem to have got over that problem which I've been having the last year and a half with the 250F. The problem I'm doing now is just before I'm shutting off a little bit too early, then going again. I need to get that into my mind now and get that sorted. Got a pretty good start, to be fair. Could see the leaders settled. It was a very, very fast pace. A couple of guys in front of me as well. I had a bit of a battle with them. I had a couple of moments. The race, though, as I say, I had some good battles, and it's been really good. We've got one more to go. Track prep's on point. Really looking forward to it. And we're just going to have a quick chat with the new travelling Marshal, Kevin McCarthy. How's you feeling after your holiday?
Well, I think I've got froth coming out of my pores. After spending 7 days in Turkey, all inclusive, and then coming straight here, I should have had a break really. I don't know. But you're right, I can't take anything away from you because, like why you say turn the camera off, because I'm going to tell you how well you rode.
I'm going to be gloating all the way as I edit this. Well, we finished for the weekend, and I've got to admit I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Big props to the BSMA as well. They put on a brilliant meeting this weekend. The track prep today was on point. The racing, it's run smooth, it's been really good. Moving on to the third race, shockingly bad start. My starts just aren't consistent at all at the minute. I just felt comfortable. I felt at ease at the bike. I didn't feel like I just got on like Hawks and Park mentally destroyed me a little bit. I just felt like a total novice out there, which I shouldn't have done. Anyway, going back to the third race, shocking bad start. Then I think in the third turn there was a few riders bunched up, and the lines have changed so much as well. And it does take me a little while to learn the lines, but I am really pleased because I was at the back, and yet I was able to make my way through the traffic a bit, get past a few people, get up to some faster riders. Got up behind Robbie Howard, and Robbie rode brilliantly. The only problem was Robbie was using exactly the same lines as me, so I tried to get past him a couple of times, and I was having to go to take some other lines, and they were really rough. And fair play to Robbie, he kept it on, and I was bouncing all over the place, and I was having a great time. I was really having a whale of a time behind Robbie, and fair play at the checkers, he got it. I tried everything I could, inside lines, outside lines, but Robbie's fitness and choice of lines was good. So I'm looking forward to the Rayada evening meeting will be the next one. I'm going to do some practicing in between as well. I think I'm not looking for a Broxton and a practice day. But it's been a brilliant weekend, and for once I'm feeling really up and confident about my riding. So looking forward to whatever next race is going to bring.